Jim Blithe, you lead our photo today, by the way.
Yep.
I lead your what?
You lead our photo today.
Oh, wow.
We should be coming back here any second.
Okay. Go above you real quick. Here we go.
We have Granny Faye listening this morning.
Really?
Carol Merritt,
Faye.
Dr. Dana Shell, Jennifer Smith, Jeff Gassaway. Here we go. We're going to do a little quick shout out.
Yeah. Let's say hi to Granny Faye. I saw her yesterday. And Bud.
You have to tell me who Granny Faye is.
Well, good morning, Dallas Fort Worth. You are listening to JP and Dr. B. And I'll tell you what, Dr. B, I sure appreciate everybody sharing their first cup of coffee with us this morning, whether they're standing at their bathroom sink with their phone listening to us at jpanddrb.com or whether they're on their computer or in their car driving to work. We sure appreciate that.
We absolutely do, and a little bit of banjo music to get them started.
To get them started, that's right. Get them down the day. Well, I'll tell you, we got quite a few listeners this morning that have already tuned in to us on Facebook. We'd like to say hello to Jennifer Smith. Good morning to Karen Keller. Jeff Gassaway down in Midway, Texas. RZ Odd. Granny Faye.
Aww.
Carol Merritt. I know that's the first time I've seen Granny Faye pipe in. And Dr. Dana Shell. Thank you all for tuning into us on Facebook and listening this morning. I'm excited. We've got our real person, real story this morning. That is our friend Jim Blithe. Jim, good morning.
Good morning.
I'll tell you what, Jim, you are way too excited for this early in the morning.
I'm an early morning person, and I love radio.
I'm guessing because it's the military, correct?
Well, I think I've been that way all my life, but
okay.
The military did a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what we're wanting to crack today. How is it that you can, we want to know what your real story is, how you can achieve and fail and achieve and never give up and never quit. And Jim Blithe is definitely the epitome of that. Jim, you graduated high school. What was the next step for you?
Next step is I went to SMU, and I wasn't prepared for SMU, and SMU wasn't prepared for me. So after a semester and a half, and I was at SMU in 1966, by the way, when Dr. Martin Luther King came, and I got to meet him. So that was the height of my career. I then went into the Navy, and I was assigned to a squadron on an aircraft carrier, the Oriskany, VA-163, and the first guy I met was Lieutenant Commander John McCain.
John McCain, NMLK.
Yeah.
All in one time frame.
Yeah.
But, let me take you a step back, though. You weren't ready for SMU. SMU wasn't ready for you. For the people that are listening out there, because we have folks that have not done so well in college and had to stop, and they're trying to get a career going. You flunked out of SMU.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, just straight up.
Yeah, I flunked out. I wasn't ready. What I had wanted to do was go in the Navy Reserve, and had I gone through boot camp, it would have changed, because it changed me. I went back after the Navy and made straight A's in college. So it wasn't because I wasn't smart enough. I just wasn't mature enough and didn't know how to study. And I got to tell you, the Navy changed me big time.
So you get out of high school, you go into SMU, you don't do well at SMU, you flunk out, and there's a lot of folks out there that do this.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of folks just quit. I mean, I don't mean quit after by quitting school. I mean, they quit life. I mean, they just stop. And so you didn't. You joined the Navy. You said, hey, I need to grow up a little bit.
Well, I'm third generation Navy, and my grandfather was career Navy and ended up commanding a ship. So he always taught me, go forward, go forward, go forward. When I was in boot camp, the guy I had as my drill instructor had lied about his age and went in the Navy when he was like 15. He was up the Yangtze River when World War II broke out, and they couldn't get out. He and 3 other men walked some 1,500 miles across Manchuria to get to Vladivostok.
Wow.
And so his whole thing was, I don't care which way you're going, just get moving. And you can always get going the right way. So I was very lucky in that I had some mentors in my life. My grandfather, my father, my uncles who were military as well. I had one uncle who was in the Battle of the Bulge. He was 82nd Airborne in Bastogne. And so with these kind of men as role models, I just kept going, kept persevering. Then we had a great opportunity that I got to fly as flight crew in TA4 Skyhawks. and I flew with some of the greatest pilots in the world. And the first question I asked is, what is the most important lesson about flying? And they said, never quit flying the plane.
Never quit flying the plane.
That has become a life lesson. And then when I got out of college, I got my private pilot's license, and I found an ex-Navy commander as a flight instructor. And the first thing he said to me is, never quit flying the plane, no matter how bad it gets. And so I tell that to people all the time, because I've worked with kids in the halfway house coming out of prison. I've been up and down. My life, I was president of my first company at age 30. I've been smacked around just like everybody has. I've been through bad marriages, and I just kept coming back. You know, you got to keep flying the plane.
You kept flying the plane.
Yeah.
Well, and Jim, let's not take away from where you graduated from, because you came back from the Navy and you went to, I've got to say, the University of Texas at Austin.
Right.
You bet.
Right.
So hook 'em horns.
Yeah, you bet. But I am more, shall we say, beholding to the Navy than I am to the University of Texas. So Navy, I hope never plays UT, because it's probably be a bloodbath unless we put the SEALs in the front line. But
Split loyalties.
but I think one of the big things too, and I was telling Dr. B, I listened to a evangelist one time, and he said, describe yourself in one word. To make a long story short, the word was survivor. And I said, that's not good. That's not good at all, because a survivor goes from one catastrophe to another. You're always surviving. And I said, this isn't going to work for me, because I've been through marriages, I've been through business failures. I lost $2.5 million in the savings and loan crash. Was on the front page of the Dallas Morning News as president of Cornerstone Commercial Properties. So I started changing and moving my life more into serving others and serving God. And I really came to believe in God and understand God. And I got really excited, became a believer through going to the back of a boat when my life was just, couldn't keep doing it anymore. And I said, God, I'm going to turn it over to you. And man, I mean to tell you, I got back in working with kids in the prison system. I got back in helping people. My business took off. I focused on serving others. So in 2013, I told the people I became a certified senior advisor in 2007-8.
Well, Jim, I want to interrupt you right there, because
right.
I want to stop before we jump into that, because that's the crescendo to this lifelong struggle, and until you finally turn everything over to God and understand that you have no control, that God's in control of that, and that when you finally relinquish that control, life is going to go okay, one way or the other. So
yeah.
So let's take our listeners. First of all, you're with KEXP 620 AM. You are joining the JP and Dr. B show with Dr. B, myself, and Callie, and then Jim Blithe as our special guest today. And so he is our real person, real story, and we're talking about Jim's, I'm not going to say struggles, his adventure that he has gone through in life here on this deal. So Jim gets out of high school, he goes to SMU, not ready for it, fails out of SMU, and Jim, I don't mean to use that as a battering ram, but as a motivational tool. And
that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, joins the Navy. Gets to meet Martin Luther King. I'm a little jealous. I never had that opportunity.
What was he like? Was he nice?
He was very, very intense. He came to SMU. Matter of fact, my son found the audio of the speech he gave, and then there was a reception. He wasn't that big a man, but his eyes, he was so intense. And there was a reception, and I got to meet him.
That's very cool. So we meet MLK. Then he decides to join the Navy because he comes from a lineage of Navy men, and gets to meet on his boat John McCain. And that is correct. That was President John McCain. That is Vietnam POW John McCain, the one and the same. Gets to meet John McCain and have that leadership. Gets out of the Navy successfully. Goes to University of Texas at Austin. He's got his college head back on him and graduates from college.
Worked my way through school. I had my real estate broker's license before I graduated.
And then,
I was the youngest broker in the state of Texas at one time.
Wow. And so works his way through school, like many of us do, and then starts his own company at 30, CEO, bankrupts at some point, loses $2 million.
Thank God I didn't bankrupt. What I did was I was flying my plane back from Houston install this construction. So I called up a friend of mine, had a research company, and I said, what's going on? And Ron Whitten said, we're about to have a real estate crash. And I had a major project in East Dallas around the Buckner Children's Home and other projects, and I basically sold out. I went to Mark Myers at Trammell Crow and I said, would you buy this? And he said, yeah, I think you're nuts. But so I sold out to get everybody their money back and pay off the loans, but I left my equity on the table. So basically I lost about $2.5 million overnight, but I didn't have to declare bankruptcy. I got off of the debt. I didn't end up with it.
There you go.
I remember when I lost $2
Yeah,
million.
yeah. I remember when you lost $2 million too. You got to wake up.
Yeah.
Quit dreaming. You are dreaming at 21. So, and I love that about you. So then we fast forward to 2013. Now continue.
I'm a certified senior advisor traveling all over Oklahoma, Texas, helping elderly people with finance issues. And I said, we've got to have more people who are certified senior advisors. So I talked the Society of Certified Senior Advisors that I belong to into letting me start the first local CSA chapter in the United States so that I could have access to people who understand psychology, Alzheimer's, home care, hospice care, insurance, investing, you name it. So I started that. And then in 2015, as a result of that and my broadcasting here with KEXB, Alliance for the Brave, I was awarded the Senior Spirit Award, the national award from CSA.
Which is very exciting. And so, folks, here you've got it. I mean, you've got Jim Blithe, who's had to recreate himself multiple times, but he's never quit. He's continuing. And we're going to use this, I think. I'm going to steal this from you, Jim, because it's good stuff. And that is, you don't stop flying the plane.
You never stop flying the plane.
Yeah.
Life keeps going. You got to keep going too, because you got to understand, as in the Bible, the 23rd Psalm, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, it doesn't say sit down. It doesn't say, hey, stick around for a while and take the pain.
Right.
It says you walk through the valley of the
Keep
shadow
going.
of death. Keep going.
Now, Jim, how can people get a hold of you if they need some senior planning?
214-502-4600. That's that. And then you can go to my website, jimblithe.net, find out all that I do. I do a lot of speaking, education, help. I'm here for seniors. You name it, I do it.
Folks, you are tuned in to 620 AM KEXP. When we come back, hidden gems all over Collin County. You want to tune into this one with Steve Stoller in the city of Plano. Good job, Jim Blithe.
Yeah, great. And a student at Dallas Theological.
Yeah. I don't know how long. I don't know if that's gonna. I had to take a year off because with doing 3 nights a week broadcasting, and then all the events that we're doing for veterans,
Yeah,
there ain't enough time.
yeah.
I mean,
All right. When we come back, we're going to do The Choice Is Always Is Yours by Lori.
He's on the
And-
phone.
Okay.
Stand by.
He's on the phone with Steve Stoller.
thank you, Judge.
Hey, Jim, great job.
Yeah,
man.
good
Yeah.
job.
I'm telling you, this is a great segment. I love real people, real stories. It's like, everybody has to go through it, but maybe we don't always know that everybody has to go through this,
That's part of life.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, and so people need to know, don't quit.
Yeah.
Just, give yourself over to God,
Yeah, my boyfriend was in the Navy, and then he went to the reserves. He was a Seabee. He just got out like last March or May.
They do a great job.
So what else are you getting in? I see 3. I didn't realize you had. I knew you did the Alliance for the Brave. Are you still doing the? I swear I saw another show here that you're doing.
No, that's all I'm doing right now.
Okay.
That's enough, isn't it?
Absolutely. You're talking about all the stuff you're doing. I'm thinking, how does he do all of that?
Well,
Oh, Ron Taylor, Believers in Business.
that's what got me in with KEXB.
Okay.
Actually, it was 1160. I was doing Believers in Business for Taylor that was on both 1160 and The Word.
Mm-hmm.
And Taylor called me up one day and said, you got to meet Robin Valtudo. I said,
Shauna Haley is the PR director for Plano.
I said, okay. So I came in, And I was talking to her, and I did Armed Forces Radio when I was on board the carriers.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking, and I started